point range. So they are loving this smaller arena with the baskets. Not quite the depth perception you have at some of the other places. For whatever reason, they have been shooting tremendously here. And we'll see if their dominance over Washington continues here at home. They are 14-1 against Washington in their last 15 games in Seattle. Here's Lloyd with it. Now to Howard. 6 on the shot clock. Canada testing her three-point accuracy off the mark there. You compare their shooting here, 47%, to just 40% at Alaska Airlines Arena and 32% from three. So much better shooting team, albeit a smaller sample size here in Everett.
It's funny, too, the lighting, it's so much brighter at Washington in this arena.
Here's Atkins for three. That one's off the mark. Howard hustles it down. Can't control it, though, however. It'll be Washington basketball deep corner.
Yeah, physical box out underneath. Mercedes Russell working hard, but just cannot keep the Mystics from hustling that ball down. Natasha Howard had to go out.
Reset the shot clock to 14, and here's Tolliver. Gets a hip check screen from Sanders. Sanders throws it right away. They say it was last touched by Jewell, however.
This Washington Mystics team leads the entire league in scoring, 86 points per game. They move the ball. They spread you out. They are such good shooters on all 5 spots. It's a challenge tonight for the Storm defense.
5 on the shot clock for Deladon. Working on Howard. All-star and all-star. And Natasha Howard gets a piece of it, and it leaves just 1 second on the shot clock. So this will be the 4th time this possession that Washington inbounds the basketball.
I love this couple. They are big-time Storm supporters from Key Arena to Alaska Airlines Arena, now up at Everett. Natasha Howard says hello in the front seat.
Loud pass and another block for Howard and a shot clock violation. So already on the first defensive possession for Seattle, they get a shot clock violation and 2 blocks.
Natasha Howard and Elena Deladon. Elena Deladon is known throughout the world as one of the best players in women's basketball. You mentioned it. She will be a Hall of Famer. She is tremendous. Just how good is Natasha Howard? They have the exact same numbers. 18.1 points per game, 8.3 rebounds per game this season. That's how good Natasha Howard has been playing.
And here is Howard with it with 15 on the shot clock to Jewell Lloyd. Crossover dribble, now picks it up. Into the corner, Canada. Looking inside for Howard. Now it takes a big screen from Howard. Here's Lloyd with 7 on the shot clock from 3. That's off the mark. And Deladon hauls it down. So Seattle 0 for 2 from behind the arc in the first minute or so. Sanders no good. Here's Seattle with the carom.
Excellent job by Mercedes Russell is sprinting down the floor to get a hand in the face of the shooter in transition.
Howard pump fakes a 3, goes hard to the window, a little strong though off the glass, and Deladon comes up with another rebound. Here's Cloud, loses handle of the basketball. She's got that gnat of Jordan Canada all over her right now.
And almost forced the turnover, did Canada, just getting the hand on it, knocking it off Cloud's knee.
Tolliver with 9 on the shot clock, double team there, gives it up to Deladon. Near side now with 5, firing up and hitting is Natasha Cloud. 3-0 Washington.
And that's who you want shooting the basketball, just a 28% shooter from 3. But Cloud nailed it.
Howard mishandles the ball, now gets it up to Russell. Here's Canada with it, goes all the way to the window. Tough to get over to Deladon, though. The long outstretched arms of Deladon. And Seattle now 0 of 4 to start the game.
Oh, that was nasty. Oh, she just crossed over. Alicia Clark did Tolliver. Wow.
Same amount of field goals she had last game against Seattle when she got ejected after 9 minutes after going 1 of 2. You don't see 2 technical fouls in a first quarter very often, but that's what happened to Christy Tolliver in that game. And let's be honest, it's the reason they lost the game. I mean, I don't think Seattle wins that game if they're playing 4 quarters of Christy Tolliver. They only won by 3 points, and they had to come from double digits down in the 4th to do it.
Yeah, no Tolliver and no Emma Miesemann.
Oh, and a 3-ball step back from Tolliver. She's feeling it right now. 8-0 Washington. We'll see if Dan Hughes wants to talk about it. He says play on.
And Seattle's had some good shots, good open looks that just have not gone down.
There's Howard with another good look. That one does go down. That time there was no Deladon in there infiltrating the defense.
Well, and that's really when you're a coach, if your team is getting good shots, that's all you can do. You can't call a timeout and say make shots. They're trying. You're trying to create the best, most highest percentage looks that you can.
Here's Christy Tolliver, a little crossover there. Oh,
just going in between the legs, and Alicia Clark is an excellent one-on-one defender, and Tolliver just goes between the legs and takes it right at her for the bucket, and then over the outstretched arms of 6'2" Natasha Howard, who's already blocked Elena Delle Donne twice in this game, and she goes over the top for the three.
Sanders hits the first free throw. Latoya, the seventh-year forward out of North Carolina. And Washington's at 10-2. Hand off Howard. Little three-player weave here. Miscommunication between Howard and Jewell Loyd, and that's turnover number 1 on Seattle.
And Seattle is playing just their first game since the All-Star break, and they had some time to practice and integrate Jewell Loyd back with the team and trying to get that chemistry between Howard and Jewell Loyd. That time just a little bit of a miscommunication.
Delle Donne now to Tolliver. Switched off on Natasha Howard. Can she hit another step back? This was long. Good rebound. Reaching it at the apex is Alicia Clark. Canada attacking. Howard, tough fadeaway there. Heel of the iron. Tipped around, and Delle Donne brings it in. Already 5 rebounds for Elena Delle Donne and Kristi Tolliver. Talk about the 2 All-Stars doing damage. Kristi Tolliver right now with 7 points. Alicia Clark has got her down in the basement, and that's a mismatch right there as the foul is on Tolliver.
Yeah, she tried to reach out and wrap up Alicia Clark before she could get that shot off. She knew, mouse in the house, she didn't have a chance against the bigger and stronger Alicia Clark. As soon as she catches it, you see that. Yeah, that's a good call. She had flipped it over her head. Not your traditional shooting motion, but nonetheless, that is an attempt at the hoop, so she deserves 2 free throws.
Mike Thibault arguing the case against, and Alicia Clark misses the first free throw. Clark has just been so consistent, particularly behind the arc. She has hit 2 or more threes in 10 straight games, going 24 of 55. So she's pushing 50% from three-point range over the last 10 games. 12-3 our score. Washington the 9-point lead. Cloud runs fastest to Tolliver, runs right into Mercedes Russell, and my goodness, I don't know how that's a foul because Mercedes just standing right there. That's got to either be a tie-up or a traveling violation, one or the other.
Yeah, that is a call that Mercedes Russell should absolutely be upset about. I think the anticipation from Russell at 6'6" was exemplary. It's unfortunate that the official I think, anticipated the contact because there was none.
It's almost like a handoff in football. She just handed it to the running back, but Seattle will get it. Oh, now a late foul as the shot clock expires on Seattle. So 2 breaks going Washington's way on that possession.
Late in the shot clock, Elena Delle Donne. There's body, but it didn't get called until Delle Donne was on the floor. I believe that is a foul. She got her with the body. The crowd reaction is because the shot clock was winding down and the whistle was not blown at the time of the foul. It was a good 1, 2, and then the whistle blew.
I think they're conferring here, and they might take a look at this to determine or at least get consensus that the foul was actually committed prior to the shot clock going off, because if it wasn't, then it's Seattle basketball.
The whistle did not occur.
Oh, we know that.
Until the shot clock.
There's no question about that.
The foul, I believe, came on the shot, which was before the shot clock had sounded.
So Delle Donne with the free throw. And 2 fouls now on Natasha Howard, so she's going to have to come out. And we've seen this from Natasha. She's gotten early foul trouble occasionally, and thank goodness for Crystal Langhorne, because Crystal Langhorne, obviously, basically a starter in a bench player's body, because she knows how to play big minutes, and her shot, particularly from behind the arc, has been wonderful this season.
Speaking of a shot that's wonderful, Elena Delle Donne at the free throw line is just so unique. Little emotion as possible.
Delle Donne knocks that one in. Seattle confused by the full court pressure.
This is just the Washington Mystics coming out They're putting that hammer down right now. Everything going the Mystics' way.
I don't think Washington likes the fact they're 1-14 in their last 15 games here in Seattle. This season, every free throw a Storm player makes, Alaska Airlines will donate 2,000 miles to the Alaska Airlines for Youth Fund. Currently, the Storm are at 264 free throws made, bringing the total miles donated to 528,000. You can check out storm.WNBA.com/free throws for the future for more information. Dick Fain, along with Elise Woodward, has been all Washington so far. But leave it up to our man, Craig Hayamoto, to give you a positive stat for Seattle. Elena Delle Donne has only been blocked 10 times in her career prior to tonight, and Natasha's gotten her twice tonight. How about that? How do you find? Oh, this season? Oh, okay, this season. All right, but still impressive. Not as impressive, but still impressive. And there's a shot block right there going the other way as Washington. Here's Tolliver with it. Triple teamed in the post. Now kicks it back out. Sanders has it. Crossover dribble. Looking for somebody to give it to his Cloud. Try to go with the high-low. A lot of key time there for Latoya Sanders and misses the shot. Canada with it. Now Alicia Clark. Alicia, I think, sold that one a bit, but it works for Seattle. Emma Miesemann coming into the game momentarily for Washington.
She was not with the team when Seattle was able to go to D.C. and upset the Mystics. So Christy Tolliver, as you mentioned, got ejected. No Emma Miesemann, so a much stronger Washington Mystics squad here in Everett to face Seattle.
Here's Lloyd with it, driving baseline. 6 on the shot clock. Got to make something happen. One-on-one, all-star on all-star. Pull up in Delle Donne's face. That one's off the mark. Another good rebound by Alicia Clark, her second of the game. And a long three from Crystal Langhorn, about a foot further out than she's really comfortable there. Atkins has it. Now down to Miesemann. Turn around. That was easy. She's got the height advantage over Alicia Clark.
Yeah, big time. About 5 inches for Miesemann versus Alicia Clark. And she just turned and flipped it over, no problem.
Mercedes with the left. No, nothing going down for Seattle. Even in the paint. I mean, 1 for 11 overall, 0 for 5 from 3, but the rest of those shots have been in the painted area. Just not getting anything to go. Ball working around nicely. Delle Donne. Stonewall kicking it back. 3 ball on the way. That was badly missed. And Alicia Clark comes down with her 3rd rebound.
And that's the problem for Seattle. They have not forced a single turnover in this game. And Washington has been shooting very well. It doesn't give you a lot of chances to get out in space and in transition.
Langhorn from 15. Nothing going in right now. And Elisa's #1 key to the game. Turnover margin. It's not happening right here. Delle Donne, she reestablished herself. She did, but Langhorn comes up with it. Lloyd attacking, throwing it up off the window, and maybe that'll get Seattle going as Jewell Lloyd will go to the free throw line with the and one as a plethora of Seattle Storm bench players are going to come in here.
And Jewell Lloyd somehow managing to split through 2 defenders in traffic, and with that body control, hanging and putting that right arm out to flip it over the top of the defense. The body control that she has is really special.
And she landed right at the feet of her mom. You saw Mama Lloyd get up quick, big old fist pump there in that first look. Uh-oh. We got a technical foul called here. There's Mama Lloyd. She had a good time watching her daughter. And will have to try to complete the 3-point play, plus a technical free throw. So Jewell Lloyd got a good shot for 4 points on this possession.
Well, and for Seattle, they look over the scoreboard, and everything has gone Washington's way. This might be the play that'll jumpstart that offense and get them rolling.
Mike Tebow's a little hot down here, not only at the officials, he's chirping at the fans too. My goodness.
Fans giving him some grief. He turns around, has an exchange.
Exactly. Something I can't repeat. Here's Hawkins with it. Into Miesemann. Tolliver. Oh, what a great move. Can't get it to go. Seattle got a little mo now. Still down 11. Zealous gets stripped of the basketball. Wanted the foul, didn't get it. As Sammy Whitcomb will come in to replace Jewell Loyd. So Jewell leaves 8 minutes, 1 of 3 from the field. He's got 4 points. Whitcomb with it. Hawkins all over her and forces the bad pass. That was a nice job by former Storm member Tiana Hawkins with the defense. 3 turnovers on the Storm.
And they have yet to force a turnover against Washington. And such a key because Washington is so good offensively. If they get a look at the hoop, their shooting percentage like that, they are number 1 in the league.
And Hawkins loves that baseline shot, too. 21-7. Mosqueda Lewis back after some injury. Crossover dribble. Ooh, how about that? Creating some space, Kalina Mosqueda Lewis.
Well, it's good to see her and Jewell Loyd back healthy for the first time together since mid-June.
Trap right in front of us, but Seattle can't get the basketball. Now they can with Russell getting it up to Whitcomb. Kalina on the run. She can square up and hit this. Pump fakes. Nearly throws it away. Whitcomb catch and shoot. That's good, and Seattle's back in it. After playing a miserable first quarter, they're only down 9.
And remember, Natasha Howard has missed the last 4+ minutes because of foul trouble. So this is exactly what Seattle needed, some energy from their bench.
And that Jewell Loyd 4-point play with the technical foul, that has really ignited Seattle here, but they got to get stops. Miesemann loses handle of it, flips it back up to Tolliver. 9 on the shot clock, 35 on the game clock. Tolliver gets the bigger Russell, tries to shoot over her, can't do it. Oh, shot clock reset to 14. Zealous gets a little over Zealous with the hands. That's Aerial Powers on the dribble drive there.
And a game of inches. Miesemann was in the corner, off balance, throwing it up in the air, and somehow the Mystics were able to catch that pass, get a shot off, and not turn it over. That's when Seattle can really get rolling, is when they force turnovers and get out and run.
Shatori Walker-Kimbrough in the game for the first time, and she's got it up top against Kalina. Tolliver working hard on Zealous. Tough shot by Miesemann. 16-point. 5 left in a 11-point game. Now down to 6 for Zealous, trying to make something happen. Tied up. Long 3 in the corner off the mark. How about Whitcomb? Taps it back up. Looked good for a second, but is off the mark in a first quarter dominated by the Washington Mystics, shooting 8 of 19. Seattle only 4 of 17, 24%. It's the Mystics lead by 11. Hey fans, when you donate a pint of blood at any Washington Donor Center, you're going to receive Storm tickets and a pint of seltzer during the last happy hour game, which is next Thursday, August the 8th. For happy hour details and more information on the program, visit stormbasketball.com/happy hour. 23-12 our score. Dick Fain, Elise Woodward, and hey, there's a champion. We're celebrating champions tonight. Former Seahawk defensive end and now talk show host on 950 KJR here in Seattle, Cliff Averill joining us. And there's downtown Freddie Brown, member of the 1978-79 Supersonics championship team. So all the trophies are here and some of the stars as well, Elise. Good to see him out.
Yeah, very cool. Freddie Brown looks great.
He really does.
Playing before the time of the three-point shot. Can you imagine?
Oh, how many points he would have. Here's Cloud with it. Oh, great defense by Sammy Whitcomb. She's got Howard trailing rather, and she gets it off to Zealous, who forces her way in there and will go to the free throw line for 2. Nicely done there.
Yeah, the anticipation from Sammy Whitcomb. on the defensive end leads to this open space for Shavonte Zealous, and she gets in the lane, takes the contact, and earns herself a trip to the free throw line.
Zealous knocks down the first. Shavonte averaging 5 points per game. 9 playoff teams in the last 10 seasons for Shavonte Zealous. She's got a really good chance to make it 10 out of 11. My goodness. Tells you a little something about her.
Yeah, her work rate just brings a toughness to this Seattle Storm team. You see them extend the pressure, trying to generate some energy. And Latasha Howard back on the floor with those 2 personals. She needs to be careful.
Here's Miesemann with it. Top side against Howard. Retreats. There was some contact there, and Miesemann faded away and hit. Emma Miesemann has been a factor in this game. Coming off the bench, 3 for 3, 6 points. Zealous kicking out to Mosqueda Lewis. Gets a pick from Langhorne. 10 on the shot clock to Crystal. Puts it up. Can't get it to go. Boy, points in the paint have been hard to come by tonight for Seattle. And they've gotten some decent looks. Cloud with it on the run and finishes 27-14, a 13-point advantage.
Just turning the corner, putting her head down, and going hard.
Whitcomb hits her second, 27-17.
And I love her holding that follow through up.
Yeah. She doesn't always do that. It's nice to see her do that now. And Ariel Powers answers the other way with a deuce.
Well, for Seattle, they're so used to when they go on a run on the defensive end, they can force miss after miss. It just has not happened so far in this game. Washington has been lighting it up.
Mosqueda Lewis. Oh, tries to find Langhorne, but Langhorne wasn't looking with 4 on the shot clock. Turnover by Seattle. That is number 4.
Washington shooting 50% from the floor. Seattle just 26%. And that's why the Mystics have this big 12-point lead in the second quarter.
Powers working on Whitcomb. She'll pull up with the 1 dribble off the mark. Kalina to Zealous. Zealous spinning. Now we'll try to back in and do it successfully. Back out Howard. Good look at a 3, but that one's off to the left. Seattle now 2 of 9 from behind the arc. Inside Hawkins. Good defensive retreat there. But they say contact was made. And Tiana Hawkins will go to the free throw line for 2. Kalina on the foul.
That's a good job of just generating points by running the floor. Beating Seattle down enough to get the ball in the paint. And when you catch it that deep, the defense is in retreat mode, and it's hard. The referees there was not a lot of contact, but they assume when you're down in the paint sometimes, contact is made.
Both of them made by Hawkins. She's made a difference off the bench with 5 points. So the bench, Miesemann, Hawkins, Powers with 13 points. Heck, Seattle only has 17 as a team. Make it 19. Is forcing it up there was Mosqueda Lewis, 31-19.
Yeah, I'd love to see her use her strength. Playing that guard spot, her upper body just so strong. She can power through people, and you saw her do it there.
There's Sammy again. 2 picks, and this time a layup. Sammy Whitcomb creating her own O with D.
And great energy from Sammy Whitcomb. There's such a huge bonus coming off the bench for the Storm.
Miesemann into Powers. Oh, what a great step-through move that was. That was nice, a double pivot.
And the answer by Washington. Every time there's some momentum and the crowd gets on their feet and they start getting excited, Washington comes down with a bucket.
Howard mishandles it, over-dribbled there.
3 on 2.
Pull-up jump shot, 15-footer off the mark. Langhorne pulls it down.
Yeah, terrible spacing by Washington in that transition. They had the advantage in the numbers 3 on 2. They're way too close together.
Howard on Miesemann. The help couldn't come. Howard puts it up and in. And there they wanted to travel, didn't get it. But there you see the effectiveness of Whitcomb as a three-point shooter, because Powers could not come off Whitcomb to help. Here's Powers with it. Down to Meesman. Little floater up and in. Emma Meesman has got some nice post moves. We knew that, but she is putting everything in today. 4 for 4. She leads all scorers with 8 points.
And everything looked so smooth and easy for her coming off the bench. Just flipping it over her left shoulder. She looks confident.
Mosqueda Lewis, deep and no good. Forward pass down low, too hot to handle for Hawkins. Deladon's going to come back in. Sanders will come back in, and Seattle will go with their starters again when we come back. 35-23 our score, 5:36 left to go in the first half. We're in Everett, Washington. Back after this. And join us Thursday, August 8th, 7 o'clock to watch your Storm take on the Dallas Wings right here on Carter Subaru Court at Angel the Winds Arena in Everett. Coming into this game, Seattle was undefeated here on this court. But so far, not so good for the Seattle Storm. Down by 12, shooting just 33%. Hey, how about another star athlete here? Steve Zakuani, former Seattle Sounder. A lot of people braving the traffic up I-5 today to get to Everett on a Friday evening. Here's Lloyd with it, far side, 10 on the shot clock. Tries to create her own shot, fades away, no. Not a lot of movement tonight in Seattle's offense. Ball or player movement, particularly ball movement. Haven't seen at least a lot of side-to-side action from the ball on Seattle's offense.
And they're trying to get the kinks out, a different type of offense with Jewell Loyd because she's such a creator, but they just haven't found that chemistry yet.
Great defense by Natasha Howard. Deladon puts it up, no good. Here's Canada on the push. We haven't seen Canada get busy on defense yet either with steals. You know she will at some point. Oh, nice move there. Howard puts it up and in. There you go, a little two-player game on the right side.
Yeah, that's what they have been looking for. Natasha Howard, with that quickness, when she comes up to set that screen, she can fade, she can do so many things with that play. It's fun to see her just move without the basketball for the easy bucket.
Deladon, Ariel Atkins, three ball in the way. Swish. Ariel Atkins makes it a 13-point game. Atkins with her first bucket of the contest.
And Seattle has yet to be able to go on a run. Washington at one point led by 15, just busting out of the gates, and they've been playing even ever since.
There is player movement without the basketball. We've seen that the last two possessions for Seattle now. Let's see if they can get a stop.
I want to try to walk down this Washington team. Down by 11 right now, 3:45 to go.
Oh, goodness. Atkins again, the lefty.
Yeah, this team can really shoot the basketball. That's a tough shot, making it look easy.
Best offensive team in the league with a bullet. It is not particularly close. Number one in points per game by 5 over second place Vegas. Three ball in the way.
Boy.
Look out. Timeout is necessary, I think, for Dan Hughes. They are down by 17 with 3:19, but he's going to let it ride here with the biggest lead of the game.
You just cannot let Elena Deladon walk into that three ball. Even against 6'6" Mercedes Russell, it is her look. It's her game. It's what she does best. You can't have your hands down, even though it feels really awkward putting your hand up when you're 30 feet from the hoop. Elena Deladon, if your hands are down and she gets a chance to rock into that three, it's nails.
Don't think that Washington doesn't have a little bit of revenge on their mind after what happened not only in the last game in Washington, but even more importantly, what happened in the WNBA Finals last year. And Washington's kind of thinking, as Natasha Howard puts it up, Mercedes Russell the rebound, she'll go to the free throw line. Washington's got to be thinking to Seattle right now, hey, okay, how does it feel to be shorthanded? Because let's face it, Washington was shorthanded in that series last year with Elena Deladon at, what would you say, 70% in that series?
I think it's hard to tell. She definitely was not at 100%, and Seattle was. And I think the big question for Seattle was after they survived the 5-game epic series versus Phoenix, how much would they have against Washington?
Yeah.
Well, it didn't. It could have taken a ton out of them, just having to fight like they did against the Mercury. But instead, they went and faced Washington, and yes, they definitely were not at their best with Elena Delle Donne banged up, but Seattle certainly claimed the title with ease in that 3-game sweep.
And I remember feeling confident that they were likely going to win the series, particularly because of Delle Donne's health. But in no way did I think it was going to be as easy as it was. Here's Tolliver, turnaround, offensive rebound. Powers has it. She's going to try. Instead of powering it up, she's going to kick it to Latoya Sanders, and the jump shot's just falling. 46-28. Canada the other way, just trying to force it up. There's been a lot of that. The early offense trying to force up a shot tonight. Powers with the off arm. That's got to be a charge. Didn't call it the first time. The second time they finally did.
You can see Ariel Powers going up and saying that's a flop. But you got to know, Clark took the first one. The second one's a foul.
18-point game. Back after this. The Storm app presented by Angel of the Winds Casino Resort is your go-to place for Storm stats, rosters, and standings. You can even play an interactive player pick game or game day scratchers and win a one-night stay and $50 towards restaurants at the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort and more. You can find it on the Apple App Store or Google Play Store by searching Seattle Storm. Dick Payne, Elise Woodward with you on championship night here. The Storm obviously have 3 of them, 2004, 2010, and of course last year there's the Vince Lombardi Trophy. The biggest domination in Super Bowl history, 43-8. The Sonics World Championship Trophy over Washington. And then, of course, the Storm trophies as well. 3 of them. Tasha Howard puts it up and in. A lot of those shots have been fading away off balance, but she did get that one to go.
Yeah, they've not shot a high percentage, just 35% in this game, while Washington's at 53%. But those are the kind of shots that you need to go down if you're going to win in this league.
Here's Powers with it. Delle Donne had a good look, passed it up, takes the 18-footer, and still knocks it down.
That's just perfect basketball, reading the defense. Flying at her from the three-point line. Little head fake, one dribble pull-up, smooth.
There's Howard attacking and scoring, just kind of forcing her way in there. Seattle's given up 48 points, which is the most they have given up in any half thus far this season, tied with the 48 they gave up on June the 1st against Chicago, which was also in the first half. Here's the turnover. Russell trying to attack and score, getting a little bit of momentum back. Sammy Whitcomb the steal. Back to Alicia Clark, 3 on the way. That would have been big, but Sammy comes up with it again. Christy Tolliver got knocked in the eye, and she is not feeling very good right now. Christy Tolliver, Whitcomb again, and that's off the mark. Tolliver rubbing her eye. I think Tebow's going to call a timeout right now to see what's going on. Tolliver not happy at all. Obviously got an elbow or a hand or something that none of the officials saw. I don't know if we got a look at that at all. We'll take a look at that in a moment with 34.8 left to go in the second quarter of a 14-point game. But, oh, man, what an opportunity there for Seattle. At least that 3 goes down. It's all of a sudden an 11-point contest.
I think for Washington, they kind of got in cruise control, and Seattle sees just 34.8 seconds to go before halftime. They're trying to put a little run together, get something going, so they don't walk in the locker room dejected, and they got some momentum going. That 3 would have brought the house down right here. Sammy Whitcomb.
Ooh, it looked like a hand across the eye, which one of the reasons that caused the turnover. Yeah, that was missed there. If you get ball and eye, they got to call the foul. Well, Seattle shooting just 38%. We mentioned at the outset of the game that they have shot very, very well in this building. 47% from both 2 and 3-point land in Everett thus far in the 3 games, which they are 3-0. But right now, just 15% from behind the arc, including missing 2 in that last possession by Whitcomb and Clark. Just 2 of 13 from three-point range. From 2, they are 11 of 22, so 50% from two-point range. 10 seconds for Tolliver against Zealous. Deladon wide open. And she missed. She was not going to miss that very often. That wide open. Whitcomb coming the other way. Back to Zealous. Alicia Clark, handoff Shavante. This would be a big possession to get a bucket here at the end of the half. Oh, nice move by Howard. Layup too strong, and Deladon comes up with it, and that will do it for the first half. And that kind of gives you an indication of what's happened to Seattle in the paint thus far in this game. They have had a lot of good looks inside and have not converted on a lot of them, shooting just 13 of 36 overall from the field. And Elise Woodward standing courtside by with Dan Hughes.
All right, Coach, first half, Washington came out on fire. You get down early, and you've been trying to crawl back into this. What do you have to do to get back into it?
Well, I think a couple of things got to happen. You know, we're a little rusty. We're not finishing shots. Got a little better in the second quarter, but our energy level was defensively was kind of up and kind of down. We got to sustain that and at the same time continue to go inside. We took too many ill-advised shots from the side that we've got to pursue the lane a little more.
I know you talked about Christy Tolliver and Elena Deladon being the two players you wanted to contain. Both of them have had some pretty magical moments so far in this game. What has to change there?
Well, we're just not doing a great job of that game plan, are we? I think we got to talk about that at halftime a little bit, but we got to get a better job on them. They're just too pivotal to this game.
They're pretty good, though, Coach. Good luck in the second half. We'll send it back over to you, Dick.
Thanks a lot, Elise. 53% shooting for the best offensive team in the WNBA, the Washington Mystics, including 6 of 12 from three-point range. And they have got 9 players, all with 4 points or more. An incredible balance for Washington. Welcome back to Everett, Washington. Dick Fain along with Elise Woodward, a 14-point lead here on Champions Night. Steve Zakuani showing off the MLS Cup. Of course, Eric Duchel there, the Seattle Seawolves, a brand new team, not taking them long to win a rugby championship. There's Cliff. There's my man Cliff Averill from the Super Bowl 48 champion Seattle Seahawks. And then downtown Freddie Brown putting down the Larry O'Brien Trophy of the 1978-79 Seattle Supersonics. And we all know Sue. Sue Bird has been a part of all 3 of those championships that Seattle has won, 2004, 2010, and 2018. Well, 2019, there's your top 5, and 2 of them in this game tonight, Elise, and it will be a big win for Seattle if they can come back, and they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. If they can win this game, they could just be a game behind the Washington Mystics, but if they lose, that'll be a 3-game deficit. Probably too much to expect them to get by Washington if this game does not go their way.
Well, Seattle right now is in a spot. I'm talking to Dan Hughes before the game. Just not a lot of people expected them to be in the position at 12-9 and in the playoff race right in the thick of it at this point with the losses that they've suffered. But he said he is just so proud of this team and how they've battled. And he said, you know, we lose an MVP and we get one because that's what Natasha Howard is playing like right now, like an MVP. Remember, she had to sit for much of the first quarter due to foul trouble, and that's when Seattle really got into a deep hole. So Natasha Howard keeping her out of foul trouble, getting that defense to pick up the intensity and force some more turnovers. Seattle is definitely in this.
Well, Seattle trailed on June the 14th. Seattle trailed by 13 in the fourth quarter on the road in Washington. Now, that game did not have Christy Tolliver. She had already been ejected. It did not have Emma Meeseman, and those two tonight have already combined for 15 points. So it's a different Washington team right now, but Seattle's at home. They played very well here. See if they can get some momentum early. Deladon quiets the crowd with a quick trigger jumper off that left foot on the baseline.
She's just so graceful. It's just smooth with the way she can attack the hoop.
Lloyd over to Canada. Driving on Tolliver. Step through, loses handle of the basketball. 5 on the shot clock. They got to sense it. Clark, catch and shoot three. That was big. Kind of a scramble drill there by Jordan Canada, but she gets it to the right player at the right time.
And a nice job by Alicia Clark, knowing how much time was on the clock, not pump faking, not doing anything, just getting the shot off and down.
Delle Donne against Clark. Star offensive player against a star defender. Tolliver against Natasha Howard. Can't be too aggressive with the 2 fouls, although she didn't pick up her 3rd in the first half, which was good news for Seattle. In fact, nobody has 3 fouls in this game. Cloud has 2. Powers has 2 for Washington. And Howard the only Seattle Storm player with 2. Delle Donne to the line here. Foul on Jewell. No wasted motion in that free throw by Delle Donne. Why don't more players just kind of put it on a platter like that?
You know, it's like every shooting coach that you hear, it's the L drill. And you put the ball right like that and you warm up like that, right near the hoop. It's you don't need much power from the free throw line once you're an adult. It's just, there's no wasted motion. It's perfect. She takes her time. That's why she's shooting 95% from the line.
Oh, Canada, nice backdoor cut. Can't get it to go. How many times has Seattle been strong on those layup opportunities? There has been players in the midst, though, on defense, so they haven't been uncontested.
Yeah, Jordan Canada was in there with the
big collision there. And a foul is going to go on Washington. That was one that I thought Elise might look away. She doesn't like those big collisions.
You know, the collisions I don't mind as much as when somebody gets in the air. Jewell Boyd knows how to fall on something like that. It's the one when you're not in control of the way your body's falling that really get me.
Howard with it. Oh, good drive by Delle Donne. High off the window, Natasha Howard.
It's a gorgeous job of using the backboard. A tough shot becomes so much easier when you put it off the backboard.
Oh, a nice little play there as Cloud gets it inside. And Seattle commits the foul. And going to the free throw line for Washington will be LaToya Sanders. That's the 2nd foul on Mercedes Russell. Largest halftime deficit Seattle has overcome to win a game, 18-15. So this would be one of the more impressive. They can get this one done.
I don't think Seattle has made Washington work hard enough defensively. They have not moved the ball from side to side. They have not gone at Elena Delle Donne. It'd be nice to see Mercedes Russell get some touches and try to take it at Elena Delle Donne.
Canada top side over to Jewell. Little pick and roll with Natasha Howard. Floats it up, no. Russell gets stripped to the basketball by Delle Donne. Atkins with it. High post Sanders. Back to Atkins. Pull up and a tough one and gets it to go. She has been exquisite tonight from behind the arc and also those long twos. Atkins with 8 on 3 of 6, including a couple of threes. Step through move by Clark. Gets her own rebound. Put back and good.
Washington jumped out to an 18-3 lead here, and that lead sitting right at the same spot.
Exactly.
15 points. Despite that great start for Washington, Seattle just has not been able to bust past that 15 mark without Washington answering.
Tolliver kicked back to Cloud with 1 on the shot clock. No good. Russell was kind of out of position, was just using her height to get that rebound. She did get enough of it to get it over to Alicia. Canada to Clark. She's hit 1 already. Oh, in and out. Clark still looking for that second 3, which would extend her streak of multiple threes hit to 11. And Canada got a little antsy going after that basketball and created too much contact.
Kristi Tolliver kind of knocked around with it just a little bit. It was poked free. Jordan Canada saw blood in the water, but just could not come up with it.
6:27 left in the third of a 15-point contest. Cloud now to Delle Donne. Working on Howard. Howard working on her as well. Here's Atkins with another pull-up. That one's flat. Delle Donne swoops in for the rebound. The putback and the foul from behind. Alicia Clark thought she got all ball, but That's not normally going to go your way if you're coming from behind.
Well, it's so smart from Delle Donne. Attacking the glass. There had been ball movement and a smaller player switched onto her. The shot went up. She went to go get it. And Delle Donne at the free throw line is just about automatic.
We had two of the best free throw shooters in the history of the game in this game today with Delle Donne and Jewell Loyd, both with percentages in the 90s. Delle Donne with a double-double. Now they took a rebound away. It says they only have 9 now. Oh, there's Atlanta went back on there. They were playing tricks on me. I could have sworn I saw 10 rebounds on the stat sheet. But indeed it is. 15 points and 10 rebounds. Loyd working on Cloud. Good screen by Howard. Now to Clark. Back to Jewell. She'll drive in. How about that move? Goes in with the left and switches over to the right hand off the left side of the window. That's a tough shot.
And did an excellent job of shielding the defender with her body. Just had the defender on her back, and that's why she was able to flip it up with her right hand because of that angle.
What's the reasonable goal for Seattle at the end of 3? Down 7 or 8 probably to make it manageable, and that's not going to help. A 3 ball again by Atkins, and she is 4 of 8. Hit 3 triples, got 11 points. Oh, nice feed. Jordan Canada to the coasting. Natasha Howard puts it up and in, and we'll go to the free throw line for the and one.
Well, they need a lot more plays like that going right to the bucket. It's hard to get back into a game, though, when your defense has just not stepped up. They held Washington to 71 points in the nation's capital. They've already given up 61. We still have over 15 minutes to play in this one.
Howard completes the three-point play, and she's got 15 to lead all scorers along with Delle Donne.
It feels like when Washington has needed a bucket,
Every time.
Every time. They need an answer. They need to stop momentum. Inside, outside.
They've been tough shots sometimes, too. Atkins loses handle of it. 4 on the shot clock. Sanders looked like she took an extra step there. Natasha Howard's up behind the pack, but Canada can't get it to her. Instead, Loyd's got it. She'll drive in. A lot of contact, and she'll go to the free throw line. So Seattle now with an opportunity for back-to-back buckets. We have not seen a lot of those tonight. 4:53 left to go in the third quarter. Seattle trying to gain some mo here, down 15. Hey fans, taking Sound Transit to Storm games at Alaska Airlines Arena is like an easy layup. Just hop on Link Light Rail and avoid the hassles of driving and parking. For more information on Link Light Rail, visit soundtransit.org. Dick Fain, Elise Woodward with you from Angel the Winds Arena up in Everett tonight. Thus far, Washington the second half, 3 of 6 from the field. Seattle, 5 of 9, so make a little bit of headway. And we took a look during the break here how many times the Seattle had back-to-back buckets. This would be the 4th on the entire game. Jewell Loyd at the free throw line. Obviously the 2019 All-Star after suffering that ankle injury. Good to see Jewell get healthy enough again so she could play in that All-Star game and have another fine season. There's the free throw percentage we talked about, almost 96%. She's career over 90, but this is her best season thus far from the stripe.
And it's interesting because Jewell Loyd is a scorer. She's not a shooter. Elena Delle Donne is a shooter, right? I mean, there's a difference.
Look at that D by Natasha Howard. Here comes Loyd the other way. Seattle trying to make a push here. They really haven't had a good run all game long. Sammy Whitcomb tried to start one in the first half. Got a couple of quick buckets. Here's a 3-ball on the way from Clark. Just those haven't gone in when Seattle's needed them. And we got a foul inside. Mike Thibault wanted a double dribble. But another foul on Washington. That'll be their 3rd team foul here in the quarter. Still with plenty of time left. So Seattle with an opportunity to potentially get into the bonus this quarter.
Yeah, you mentioned Seattle. They just have not been consistent behind the three-point line. 3 of 15. Now 3 of 16 after that miss.
Fouls on Atkins, her second. Here's Clark again, trying to get one to go, and it's just not. Natasha Howard tipping around. Nice job by Russell to get it back to a teammate. Here's Canada, the scoop shot up and in. Okay. 11-point game. Now what are you going to do on D? And Mamisaman has returned. 7-0 run for Seattle. That's their biggest of the game. Deladon with it. Pump fakes. Gets by Howard. Good help from Mercedes Russell, but gets it to go. And again, those rolls have been going all night long for them.
Elena Deladon is just so smooth.
Howard with the pump fake. There's a back iron. That's kind of been the story of the game right there. I mean, Deladon gets the roll to go. Natasha Howard gets really the same type of shot as far as degree of difficulty and just can't get it to go. Here's Deladon from 3. Oh, man, a 5-0 Deladon run just when you thought they were coming back. One of the great offensive players this league has ever seen puts on a 5-0 run. Here's Natasha Howard with a nice little move on Deladon.
Well, Deladon is now at 20 points on only 11 shots.
Wow.
He has been so efficient.
Tolliver against Clark. Between the wickets move, spins by Clark. That was just too easy. You do not see Alicia Clark beaten like that very often. But a tremendous move by Christy Tolliver.
That's the second time tonight that Christy Tolliver has just put on a show.
Block shot by Deladon as Jewel Lloyd goes flying into near the backboard by our old friend Cliff Averill, the Seattle Seahawk back there.
Ready for takeoff is Jewel Lloyd, but meeting her up in the air, Deladon. Even though you think of her, I do, like a 3 player. It's how she plays, the way she shoots the ball and scores it. She is 6'5", and she is a presence in the paint.
Sammy Whitcomb back in. Canada. Here's Whitcomb. Quick trigger shot there. No. And holding off Deladon was Mercedes Russell. And the new look, like the braids on Mercedes, I haven't seen those before.
Well, the high bun that she used to wear, I think, made her look taller. But I do like the braids. Added a couple of inches on top.
Oh, yeah. She was like 6'8" with the bun. So Deladon, who's just automatic at the stripe, will step up there to try to give Washington already 70 points. And as Elise mentioned a moment ago, they only had 71 in 4 quarters the last time these two teams met.
Well, this Washington team, in my opinion, is the favorite to win it this year. I know Connecticut right now is a better record. I just think that the way that Washington can score, and if Deladon is healthy, and, she has struggled with health issues throughout her career, but when she is healthy, boy, this Washington team is just so hard to defend.
Well, the statistics, the analytics would agree with you. They are number 1 in the WNBA in net rating, and this shot by Mercedes Russell goes off. They are at a 10.9 at net rating, which is your offensive rating, basically points per 100 possessions, minus how many points you give up per 100. And how good has that been as an indicator for the WNBA champion? How about 18 of 22 years the net rating champion has won the championship? Here's a 3-ball on the way. No. Wow, they're going to call a foul on Jordan Canada, far side. She does not like that at all.
And I think for Washington, getting to the WNBA championship a year ago and falling to the Storm, getting swept 3-0. They're an excellent basketball team, and Deladon was not 100% in that series. But with the injuries to Seattle, they must feel like, okay, we couldn't get it done a year ago, but this could be our year.
Well, they have their whole starting 5 back. The same 5 that started against the Storm here last year in the regular season were the same 5 that were starting tonight. Now, the bench is quite a bit different. They got 4 new bench players, but their core is definitely intact from that season of a year ago when they went to the finals, rather. Deladon will step out after scoring 13 points in this quarter. She's got 22 for the game. The deficit just about insurmountable now unless Seattle can put together a big-time run in this last 2 minutes and give themselves a chance. They got to get it to 13 or 14 by the end of this quarter. They did come back from a 13-point fourth quarter deficit in Washington. So it's been done before, but it almost seemed like those 2 Deladon shots kind of took the spark out of them and this crowd. You kind of felt there was a chance before those, and there's Natasha Howard with a nice cut to the basket and the bucket.
Well, Seattle has done some really nice things in this game. It has not been one of those games where you look up and you're like, oh, it's just not their night. Washington went out to that great run to start the game, and Seattle has not been able to chip away at all.
Howard's got it on the bounce. Backing into Oliver. Here's Mosqueda Lewis. 12 on the shot clock, fires and hits. So there's 4 that they needed. Got to get maybe another stop and another bucket here to get it to 13 or 14. Neesman, this has been the answer all night long. You just knew it was going to go down as soon as she took it. All night they have done that.
When Seattle has scored back-to-back buckets, Washington has been able to answer any kind of cheer or momentum. They have found a way to shut this crowd up.
Seattle's having no trouble scoring this quarter. They have 24 points this quarter, and Tasha Howard has 21, but they just haven't done the job defensively. Into the corner, another open look. That goes down. Too many open looks, especially this quarter.
And that rotation from Atkins is gorgeous. The left hand, you see how the cream and white spinning.
And a good foul there by Christy Tolliver as she hooks Crystal Langhorn. Still no bonus. Seattle was not able to draw a foul from the 4.5-minute mark till that moment right there. So they lost an opportunity for some potential bonus free throws this quarter.
And I just love Crystal Langhorn and Christy Tolliver getting tangled up. Tolliver reaching out and grabbing her former teammate, winning a national championship with her at Maryland 11 years ago.
Oh, wow. We're getting old.
That's been 11 years ago that Maryland was able to win that title.
I remember that team well. Here's Zealous with
maybe
it.
12 now.
8 on the shot clock. Crossover, pulls up. That's going to be well short. Natasha's going to run down that rebound, though. Mosqueda Lewis over to Zealous. Langhorn posting up. Whitcomb with 9. 2-second game clock, shot clock differential. And foul there. Are they going to get a defensive foul or the push off on Natasha? Looks like it's going to be a defensive foul. It's going to go on Atkins. That's the third foul on Atkins. First player to garner her third for Washington. So Howard to the line. She has carried the mail this quarter, no question about it. And she knocks that one down at halftime. She had 10 points. She's got 22. So 13 points for Elena Deladon in the third quarter. And if she can knock down this free throw, 13 points for Natasha. And she does. Tolliver with 5 as she crosses the timeline. Gets all the way to the window. Shot blocked from behind, though. Nicely done there. And Seattle dodges a bullet as Neesman was standing right underneath the hoop. 18-point deficit. Better start chipping in quickly if Seattle's going to make this a game. Fans, join the conversation. Engage with the Seattle Storm on Twitter and Instagram, and like the Storm on Facebook. Get the inside scoop on Storm basketball news, promos, and contests all season long. Washington 8 for 12 in that third quarter. Seattle 10 of 19. So both teams shooting very, very well.
Hold the ball.
Powers against Shavonte Zealous. Two really strong guards. Powers and Zealous just are really, really physical.
Well, and going right at Zealous. Zealous trying to hold her ground, and Powers trying to go through her. It's quite a matchup.
Second foul on Shavonte. Neither one of those two players shies away from contact.
I would say the opposite.
They invite it. They thrive on contact.
Zealous right here saying that the left arm of Powers came out to hook, and she hasn't She has an argument there. It wasn't called, though, and then there was clearly a foul by Zealous after that.
Courtney Paris sighting. First time in the game for the Storm power forward. Trying to get it off to somebody. Finds Whitcomb with 10 on the shot clock. A little too good a defense by Tiana Hawkins, and Mike Thibault gets her pat on the back and says, "That's all right. I'll take that foul. You're just hustling." Making it difficult on Seattle. Resets the shot clock to 14. First foul on Hawkins. Whitcomb with it. Now back to Shavante with 5. Whitcomb around a Paris screen. Gets it off at the buzzer. Back iron. Langhorne tipping it around. We're going to stay right here, as I believe they're going to get Atkins. I think that's 4, if I'm not mistaken. It is. So Mosqueda Lewis stand bounce. Free throw line extended in an 80-60 contest. Inside Paris. Backing in on Hawkins. And a nice cut by Shavante Zealous and a good assist by Courtney Paris.
Old school basketball there. Get it down low on your block when the defense turns their head. Take off. Backdoor cut. Work to perfection. Paris to Zealous.
Miesemann from 18. That one's good. Emma Miesemann has been so solid tonight. 13 off the bench on 6 of 7.
And remember, this is one of the best defenses in the WNBA. Seattle does not get abused like this. There's 82 points on the board by Washington. They're shooting 57%. I mean, this has just been a very well-played, highly executed game plan by Washington.
Impressive showing, no question. Miesemann gets a piece of Courtney Paris there. Ooh, might have dragged the pivot foot there.
I mean, 82 points already.
Powers with it. Kick to Hawkins. And we got a whistle and an off the ball foul, I believe. Or a 3-second call. I did not see.
I mean, the question for Seattle now is, can you limit Washington to under 100 points?
They did not indicate a foul, so it must have been a 3-second violation. Langhorne can't come up with it. Well, you think the pace of this game would slow down considerably if you're Washington here with a 20-point lead. Here's Cloud with it. Not that they like a slow pace. They're very comfortable with a fast pace. Seattle's going to have to play high possession basketball here if they got any shot at all. Zealous misses that one. Powers for 3. Badly missed. Offensive rebound, Hawkins. And she walks with the basketball. Natasha Howard, Jordan Canada come back in. We haven't seen Jewel Lloyd. You think Dan Hughes just saying, you know what, we're going to give Jewel the rest of the night off, coming off that injury, only played a couple of games.
I'd say she's got a heating pad on her left knee.
Yeah.
I wonder if she took a little contact, and with the score being 20 points, that Dan Hughes was saying, let's get you back and ready for LA on the road.
Yeah, that's a good call. Howard with it, backing in on Miesemann and turning. Oh, what a brilliant move, Natasha. She just, every game I watch her, she has a different move that I don't think I've ever seen before.
She's very instinctual. She puts that foot down and she reads the defense. If she pump fakes and they go, she has a counter. It is really a natural basketball player.
Miesemann with it, guarded tightly by Howard. Kicked back into the corner. 3 on the way, no good. Canada did all she could to keep Tiana Hawkins from getting that basketball, and she did a pretty darn good job, and a technical foul on Tolliver. Oh, head coach. No, correction. He got one earlier. Did they remember he got one earlier? Oh, they gave it on Cloud in the first quarter, not on Mike Thibault. So this would be the first on Mike Thibault. I think the official might have thought Thibault said something. I think it was actually Tolliver that said something. Is that what the situation was?
Tolliver had a towel And when the call was made,
Oh, now they just threw him out. Oh, it's Hawkins is done. There's tees being thrown all around here. So Seattle will shoot
and I was
2 technical
watching
free throws.
Christy Tolliver kind of laugh. They got an 18-point lead. They're not. So Cloud had a technical in the first quarter. Tolliver threw a towel and turned around towards the bench away from the officials and had something to say. And that's when the technical foul was called. But it wasn't, they signaled right towards on the head coach.
Correct.
They signaled on Coach
And I
Tebow.
saw him mouth, technical foul head coach.
Correct.
That's what they said right in front of us for the first tee. Now the second tee was definitely on Tiana Hawkins. So my goodness. Well, all of a sudden, Elise, I mean,
it's a 15-point lead.
You knock down a bucket here, and it's 12 or 13 with 6 minutes left to go. Wouldn't that be something to turn this into a game in the next 3 or 4 minutes? Here's Whitcomb with it. Jump shot. Alina, no. Need those. You'd think after she hit 2 free throws right there that she might hit a free throw line jump shot.
Well, Seattle has got to have their defense step up and make some stops.
Powers short. Natasha the rebound. Got to get something easy here. Canada's going to go right to the window, draw contact, and she'll go to the free throw line. And Christy Tolliver doing her very, very best to keep her mouth shut. She wanted to lash out there, but she said, you know what? Probably better that I don't say anything here. All right. Well, not over yet, believe it or not. About a minute and a half ago, it looked like it was over. But all these technical fouls keeping Seattle in the ball game. Stick around. There's our old friend Doppler. Seattle Children's a proud sponsor of the Doppler train, a Seattle Storm tradition. Seattle Children's mission is to provide hope, care, and cures to help every child live the healthiest and most fulfilling life possible. You can join the fun during the fourth quarter of each home game, just like these kids do. How about that? My kids love the Doppler train. They're not here tonight, but every time they come to games, they're in 100% attendance on the Doppler train if they come to Storm games. 82-67. You should get your kids out there. It would be fun to see your kids who are a little bit older out there dancing with the 6 and 7 and 8-year-olds. What are your kids now, like 15 and 13, something like that? Is that right?
Correct.
I nailed that?
I think they're a little bit too old for the Doppler train. Just a guess.
Never too old for the... I see adults sometimes in the Doppler train. Free throws split there. 82-68, a 14-point game. Really make this interesting, you need 2 stops and 2 buckets in a row here. Then you can start talking. And Miesemann misses the shot thanks to Natasha Howard coming in on the opposite side. Canada, the big Euro step and gets it to go. I don't think I've seen Jordan do that one.
She finds a way to get to the bucket despite being just 5'6". He's never scared to get in the lane, and this is close as Seattle's been in a long time.
Oh, but there's Deladon. Did anybody have any question, honestly, whether you're a Mystic fan or a Storm fan or you're just watching on NBA TV, was there any question that was going down?
She's got 25 now, and for the 4th game in the last 5, she's got 25 or more points.
Whitcomb, shot partially blocked. Good box out there by Atkins, coming the other way as Washington. Cloud, Deladon thought about him at 27-footer.
And with the respect enough that the pump fake moved the defense at 27 feet.
Right, exactly. Watch Jordan Canada.
Yeah, this is pretty right here. Just taking a 1, 2, and getting inside. Actually, probably gets a 3-point play against her own teammate, Natasha Howard. She fooled her own teammate with that cutback.
Well, she fooled me. I didn't think that was coming. I haven't seen the Euro step. I don't think Natasha's seen the Euro step from Jordan either. That's why she was in the way. Ooh, nice D by Alicia Clark, overplaying that one. 4:43. Need stops if you're Seattle.
Then you look up at the clock once again, and 4 minutes and 43 seconds left, down by 15. They started this game in the first 5 minutes, down by 15, and that initial run is what has killed the Storm in this game.
Woo!
Yeah, this Washington team has just played really well tonight against the Seattle defense that normally causes turnovers, creates havoc, bad shots. Instead, they forced 13 turnovers today, but just not nearly enough.
And another free ball. Man, they can just stroke it. And they've got about 5 or 6 players that can shoot.
And then when you have Elena Delle Donne in the mid-range game, taking a double team, it leaves somebody wide open from three. That's why they're the best offensive team in the league.
Post up! No, Emma, no! Double!
Miesemann now. Skip pass over the top, a little high. And Atkins tried to go up just a little bit out of her reach. 19-point cushion here.
Come on, right now, it's foul.
Seattle held Washington to 35% from the field and 71 points in that first game. Tonight they are shooting 55% and 59 from three-point range. They have hit 13 threes on 22 attempts. You are not going to lose a lot of games shooting like that. Canada tries to make something happen. A little step back. Oh, my goodness. Jordan Canada has opened up a whole new bag of tricks tonight. 9 points on 4 of 9. We've seen the step back and the Euro step in the same quarter. She adds that type of repertoire with her defense and her penetration. My goodness, what kind of player is she going to be?
Well, she's a very creative scorer, and you see this. She knows how to put the ball way up over the top of the defense and get it to go. And even though that's a high degree of difficulty, she can make those.
The future looks bright for Seattle. The present, not so much. Like the Seattle Storm on Facebook and get the inside scoop on Storm basketball news, promos, and contests all season long. The shooting of the Washington Mystics has been fantastic tonight. 13 of 22 from behind the arc. Most three-point field goals scored this season in a WNBA game is LA with 16 against this Washington Mystic team. And then Seattle hit 14 twice against LA and Dallas. And then this Washington team with 13. So they have an opportunity to at least tie Seattle's here if they can get another one. And a steal by Natasha Howard gets it off to Canada. Wickham into the corner. Jewell is back in the game. Tests her eye at a three. Misses that one. Body on the deck is Miesemann. Now Wickham bullets it inside. Natasha Howard spins and is fouled by Elena Delle Donne. Mike Thibault still into this. Hands on his head. Can't believe he didn't. It doesn't matter to Mike Thibault that he's up by 17 right now. He is living and dying with every single call in this game.
I get such a kick out of Mike Thibault.
He's great. No, he is great. Winningest coach in the history of the WNBA. And there's a reason for that.
At one point, worked in the Sonics organization.
That's right.
Years
way back
and
in
years
the day.
ago, scouting. He's been around the game a long time. He's a guy that, when the game's starting, he's going to get after you.
Yep.
An official, an opponent, his own team, he doesn't care. He's going to do anything he can to win. And then once the game is over, he's a really genuine guy.
Here's Tolliver inside. Delle Donne looked like she was going to do the two-footed jam there for a second.
She kind of goes back up the court. Big smile on her face, like, how'd I miss that one?
Here's Clark with it. No good. Another rebound. This one Comes down to Tolliver.
I'll tell you, it has been a joy to watch Elena Delle Donne come in to the state of Washington healthy and leading her team. There's been some games in her past where she's not been able to play for a variety of reasons, but the fans here appreciate the show. And another bucket by Delle Donne. She's got 29. She is just something to see in person at 6'5", and the way that she can shoot the basketball from any point on the floor.
And a turnover there on Seattle. Mike Tebow's been coaching this league since 2003. His only losing seasons, 2016 was his worst year with Washington at 13-21. Other than that, Elise, he has 2 16-18 seasons, and that's it for losing seasons in his entire career. So really, 16 and 18 is basically 500. If he really only had one season in 2016 in his entire career where they had a bad year, that's amazing. And they've only missed the playoffs 3 times in his coaching career.
Well, you think this is a guy that this year wouldn't love to win the WNBA championship? He's been there 3 different times, twice with Connecticut and then last year with Washington. And has come up short. He's 0-3 in WNBA Finals appearances.
And 0-2 against Seattle.
That Connecticut team back in 2005 losing to Seattle.
I still see that shot in the far corner. It would have tied it? I believe it would have tied it.
Oh, you're going way back.
Sales, right? I believe it was Sales. Sales in the corner.
That's digging it up. Good job.
I think it was either to win it or tie it. I think it was the tie it. Here's Hines Allen, first time in the ball game. Step off pass to Powers, who puts it up and in. Ariel Powers now with double figures. So 5 players in double figures for the Washington Mystics, led by the 29 of Delle Donne. 3 ball in the corner. Sammy Whitcomb, no. Tipped around. And it'll be Seattle basketball. So 29 for Delle Donne. 17 for Ariel Atkins, who has been lights out from behind the arc, 5 of 8. 13 for Meeseman and 12 apiece for Powers and Tolliver.
Yeah, this has been an impressive performance by Washington.
Good pass there. The feed to Mercedes Russell.
And that's one area Mercedes Russell has been really quiet. She's been guarded by Elena Delle Donne a lot of the night. She's got just 7 points. It was an area that Dan Hughes said he wanted to exploit.
Hines Allen stepped through, not close. Gets her own rebound, however. Keeps it alive with 8 seconds left. Tries to make something happen and throws it up at the shot clock buzzer. No, and that will do it. A championship caliber performance